Every one of these products in my hand is getting an upgrade this year after the announcements at Galaxy Unpacked. Today, we go through every single one of those upgrades, every single one of these. Let's go. So are these upgrades worth it? Are these new products worth the ones that they're replacing? That's what I want to find out today. We're going to break it down by device and pick out the things that we think are the main upgrades over their predecessors. The ultimate goal is to help you decide whether it's worth upgrading from what you've got to what's come out. Starting with the Z Fold 6. A lot has been said about the Z Fold 6 and whether it is a true upgrade over the Fold 5. Well, here's 3 areas where it absolutely is. Starting with design. The design on the Fold 6 is slimmer, lighter, and for the first time in a long time, Samsung have redesigned the shape of their Fold to make it more comfortable to use on the cover screen. In the past, they've done some things like edge out the bezels and make it a little bit shorter, whereas now they actually have changed the size of the cover screen to 6.3 inches and actually physically changed the size of the phone itself. It's gone from 67.1 mils to 68.1. And on paper, that might not seem like a lot, but I can tell you, holding the 2 phones in your hand, you definitely feel the room that the extra cover display space has now afforded you. But the new design feels different. The flatter sides and the more squared off corners have a different appeal about it. And in your hand, you can feel it be a little bit more premium. I don't know whether that's the matte finish on the frame versus the glossy one from last year, but it definitely has a bit more of a higher end feel about it. The weight's probably the biggest one because it literally feels like a normal phone in your hand. Especially if you are coming from an ultra flagship that's quite heavy in its own right, the 239 grams of the Z Fold 6 will feel like a normal smartphone in your hands and in your pocket. As far as the cameras are concerned for the Fold 6, hardware-wise, there is no physical changes. It's still running a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, a main 50 megapixel, and a 3x telephoto at 10 megapixel. And whilst on paper, it doesn't seem like there's any significant upgrades, software-wise and capability-wise, there is. With the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy on board, you're getting some extra stuff that can be enabled. Things like what we saw on the S24 Ultra, dual recording at 4K 30, where you can record from 2 cameras at the same time in 4K. Very cool, and I'm definitely going to use that with Flex Mode on the Fold 6. Auto framing in 4K, where you can put the phone on a table again in Flex Mode and use the phone to just automatically track subjects in 4K now. You won't get that on the Fold 5 because its processor is limited. So it's those things plus the new camera algorithms which will enable a better overall camera experience. And the last point here is to do with the software and performance. Performance-wise, like I just said, we're getting the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy. We're getting a 1.6 times larger vapor chamber for cooling power. So that combined should give you better performance already. Factor that in with the software of oneui 6.1.1 and you will get a very capable and smooth experience across the board. That's not to say that oneui 6.1.1 isn't coming to Fold 5, because it is. So all the Galaxy AI stuff that I showed you in my previous videos, that's all going to trickle its way down to the Fold 5 eventually. In fact, probably not too far away. But the best performance of all the other functions the phone will have will be enabled thanks to the processor only on the Fold 6. So that's something to consider. Longevity-wise too, you're getting the 7 years of updates regarding software. So if you are looking to hold on to your phone for a long time and you want this to be it, this could be the one because you will get lots of support going forward. Question is it worth it? There's a couple of variances there. If you were trading in, yeah, probably could be, especially during this pre-order period where Samsung in a lot of regions offer very good trade-in value as long as very good bonuses on top of the trade-in. However, if you are waiting it out and you're looking to upgrade after the pre-order period, if you have a Fold 5, I would hold on to it. If you have a Fold 4 or older, there's probably some things that you could definitely look at in terms of upgrading. Make sure you subscribe because I will definitely look at doing an older Fold to the newer one in terms of a comparison to see if the comparison is worth it. Okay, Z Flip 6. Z Flip 6 on the surface looks like it has less changes than the Fold. But as I said in my hands-on video, that's very deceptive because the secrets and the hidden upgrades are hidden, as I just said. There is a slight change with the design. Samsung have followed suit with the Fold and made it flatter on the sides and made it a bit more industrial and square around the corners. But outside of that and outside of the matte finish on the colors, The design is pretty much as you were. The camera rings have the same color as the back to kind of tie the back and the front together, but that's not a reason to upgrade at all. The biggest headliner for upgrades to the Flip 6 is its camera, and it's just the main camera. It finally makes the jump from the 12 megapixel smaller sensor that was on the Flip 5 and every flip before that to the S24's main camera, the 50 megapixel, which is slightly larger. It's going to have bigger pixel sizes, allow more light to come in. Love that change for the Flip, especially with how you can be creative with the form factor of the Flip with new features like auto framing and all the other stuff I just mentioned from the Fold 6. You can now do a lot more with this main camera and the software that accompanies it. That new processor as well will increase the software algorithm for taking photos too. So camera-wise, it's a bigger upgrade than it looks on paper. So absolutely, that's a big one to consider. From a performance level, not only do you have this 8 Gen 3 for Galaxy, which again, we know the performance capabilities of that processor, but Samsung have put in a vapor chamber into the Flip 6. And not just any vapor chamber, a vapor chamber that is 1.6 times larger than the S23 Ultra's vapor chamber, which was a fully fledged slab smartphone. This is the Flip 5, this is the S23 Ultra. Look how much bigger the space is in here compared to here. So it's great that Samsung have done and made room for a vapor chamber for cooling. And on top of that, they've made room for a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. So you're getting upgraded in capacity of battery, performance of phone, and cooling of phone. Definitely something to consider when you're looking at upgrading to this. Going along with that, the oneui 6.1.1 software that's going to be on the Flip 6 will also enable better performance and all of the Galaxy AI stuff. But as I mentioned, that stuff will trickle back down to the Flip 5. So it's something to consider, but it shouldn't be the main point you jump and hit upgrade. So is it worth it for the Flip 6? I think yes. I think even if the price increases there, if you can get a good trade-in deal, definitely make the jump forward, because this could be the last flip phone that you need. It's got everything. Everything that a flip phone user could want, it's there. It's got a great main camera. It's got durability with water resistance. It's got the new brighter display. All of that is there, and I think it's worth it. And definitely Flip 4 and beyond, no brainer. Okay, it's watch time. And this is an interesting thing about the watches, is that both watches aren't necessarily replacing the same series. So the Watch 7 is replacing the Watch 6, but the Watch Ultra is replacing the Watch 5 Pro. So you can't compare the Watch Ultra to the Watch 6 Classic because they're not of the same category. The Classic is going to be refreshed every 24 months, as we have now seen from Samsung. So to go ahead and say that, oh, it doesn't have a rotating bezel, you're missing the point. The point of the Watch Ultra is to be that ultra flagship, do everything smartwatch that is durable. You cannot have the same durability on that watch if you make the bezel rotate. So I'll just say that straight up front. Let's get into the watches. The Watch Ultra is replacing the Watch 5 Pro. And when you look at the Watch 5 Pro, it has a lot of what the Watch Ultra does. It's got a titanium casing. It's got your 2 buttons, although it doesn't have the action button. It's got a bright display. It's got a large battery. It's got all of the sports tracking that you could want on a smartwatch. It just has a very basic design. What Samsung has done here with the Watch Ultra is take the concept of the Watch 5 Pro and put it on steroids. Beef it up. Make the casing bigger. Borrow a design cue from the Watch Sport from years ago and bring that back in a massive way. So its design is fresh and new for Samsung. And whilst the bands may have taken inspiration from Apple, I would say that inspiration is not copying, because the color of orange is different. The action button isn't the only button that does anything on the watch. You also have the other 2 buttons that go back and home. So the action button complements the existing buttons. And you now have the fastest processor on a smartwatch with the Exynos 3nm chipset, which is going to give the performance excellent fluidity. Couple in with the fact that you've got the enhanced sensors on the back. You've got things like dual band frequency GPS. You have got a very compelling package and very, very high-end upgrade from the Watch 5 Pro to the Watch Ultra. Price makes a jump, which when you enter a category like this, it's probably to be expected, but it only comes in LTE, and it is a big smartwatch in every single way. It'll definitely fits the Ultra billing in the name. It's definitely more Ultra than it is Pro. The Watch 7 is very iterative. It doesn't bring those wholesale design changes that we saw with the Ultra. It basically gives more of the same in a better package. Better processor, of course, with the 3nm. It's got a better display, It's got better sensors on the back for tracking. And of course, the software on both of them gets enhanced too with things like energy score and the new sports tracking that comes with it. So the watches, you have some compelling reasons to upgrade there. Design probably being the big one for the Ultra. And the more hidden stuff with the Watch 7 is things like the sensors and things like the internals that make it a better smartwatch overall. So for the Ultra, is it worth upgrading from the Pro? Yes. Yes, having used the Watch 5 Pro extensively, absolutely. Just by looking at it alone, I can see where the upgrades are and I can see that it's worth it. If you've got a Watch 6, should you upgrade to the Watch 7? No. The Watch 7 is very much an iterative version of the Watch 6. If you are happy with what your Watch 6 can do, there'll be no need to make that jump. The only reason you would is if you need that extra sensors that come with it to give you the more tracking that it's going to be capable of doing. Now, the interesting ones, the Buds 3 Pro is replacing these guys and the Buds 3 are replacing these ones. Very interesting. I'm going to look at the Buds 3 compared to the 2 first because I feel like it's a very basic, easy comparison to make. The Buds 3 are completely different from the Buds 2. The Buds 2 are like this really nice, small concept shape, fits comfortably in the ear, albeit a little bit underwhelming in terms of maybe sound profile. Buds 3 change that. They make the sound better, but the design is not unique to Samsung anymore. Samsung have gone with that blade design, and with the Buds 3, it's an open type ANC, which kind of is like the Buds Live from a few generations ago. That open type ANC that sit above the ear canal and not in it. Still allows noise to come in, but still has ANC as part of its package. I would say that if you have a pair of Buds 2, I would go and upgrade maybe to the Buds FE, because the fit of the Buds FE will give you a nice, secure, comfortable fit. It's probably more in your style, because if you like the design of this, the Buds FE have the wingtips to sit more comfortably. You can go and watch my Buds comparison video where I actually compare the Buds FE to these, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Buds 2 Pro, on the other hand, these were Samsung's elite level buds of the time. They changed everything about the original Pros in terms of the design being a lot more sleeker, but way more comfortable and sit securely, way better in the ear. The sound was a lot better. You could tell the refinement in the sound profile when you put these in your ear and listen to them, and the ANC was superb. Couple that with the fact it had a very unique to Samsung design, and no other brand really boasted this look and aesthetic. It was excellent in what it offered you. Buds 3 Pro kind of lose that a little bit. In a Samsung bring in the blade design that we've seen pretty much everyone else use, but Samsung have done it very much in their own way, where they have done the angular sharp corners, matching the angular sharp corners of the fold and the flip, and they've also got the light. That light differentiates itself from everything else because it lights up with notifications, lights up when you need to find them lying on the ground, and it lights up when you're putting them in and out of the case, which I think is really, really cool. Couple that with the sound that's going to be explosive, I know, and I will definitely do a deep dive comparison across all the buds that I have, Buds 2, Buds 2 Pro, Buds FE, Buds 3, Buds 3 Pro. That is happening, so hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to know when that's happening. But the Buds 3 Pro offer a lot, and I like that Samsung have got colors on board as well. It's not just plain white. Even if the colors of the Buds 2 Pro were a little bit more fun, at least there's still options here. Are the buds worth it? The Buds 3 from the Buds 2, if you are wanting to stay in that family, the numbered family of buds, yeah, I would say go ahead. It's worth it. Buds 2 Pro to Buds 3 Pro, this is where it's going to be a little bit murky because these are excellent. The Buds 2 Pro are an excellent set of buds. The only thing that I think you could probably gain is, apart from all the other stuff, is probably better call quality due to the location of the microphones once they come in with the Buds 3 Pro. My thing would be wait for reviews, maybe wait for comparisons like mine to see whether or not that's going to be worth the jump. Obviously, there's some deals to be had if you get them now, so that might change your mind. But if you have a set of these already, these are still excellent, and there's probably no need to throw them out just yet, even if I just did. And of course, the Galaxy Ring, which I don't have. It's not coming to Australia just yet, so hold off on any purchasing decisions with that if you want to wait for my sort of testing and demonstrations. But of course, if you are upgrading from a standard ring to a Galaxy Ring, the Galaxy Ring is going to do a lot more. But if you're just upgrading from nothing to that and you want to know if it's worth it, subscribe, of course, and I will bring you all that information as I have it. So that's it. All the decisions you need to make. Let me know if you've upgraded to any in the comments or if you're planning to upgrade to any in the comments below. I'll see you in the next one. You.